this works on my phone just as good. So, just finishing up my little breakfast here before I start training. It should be a nice and easy day today. Not going too crazy. Keeping everything pretty chill at the moment, but putting in the hard work so that I'm ready for everything that's coming up. I wanted to talk about two really, really nice matches that are coming up at the next big event in Istanbul. So I guess the first one to talk about is Michael Todd versus Vitali Larratt, and kind of the meaning of the match and the intricacies that surround it, because I find it a very interesting match, a very important match, a very, very good match. So Monster Michael Todd, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, USA. I think Mike's 50 or something like that. I think he's a little bit older than me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's right around my age. And Vitali Larratt, I'm not exactly sure how Vitali is, but I'm going to guess he's mid-30s, from Russia. Two of the top arm wrestlers in the world. And the interesting thing is, the most notable thing is that the winner gets a shot to pull the winner of Hermes and Levon in probably December. That's kind of what it looks like. November, December. Anyways, later on, they get a straight pass, straight shot. So it's a big significance. And the thing is, it's an advantage play. Okay, so what that means is, so they're going to have the match in May. Levon is going to compete in June with Hermes. So that means that the winner between Michael and Vitali will have an extra month of rest, which has not been typical for all the people who've been challenging Levon. Most people have been on reduced timing, and they've qualified and then they've had to pull. It was curious to me leading up to the match that Hermes chose to pull Levon early, because I thought that Hermes was going to take the time off and pull him in November as kind of was previously discussed, but he chose the fast option, which is kind of shocking, because I think that really a big part of securing victory is having timing on your side. It's important to rest. Anyways, everybody is kind of discounting Hermes' ability to get to that match. And most people kind of think that it will be Levon who the winner's facing. But that doesn't really matter. One of the reasons I'm so excited about this match is because I personally am very, very interested in pulling Vitali. Michael and I kind of are on a bit of a truce, as in we're both cool with, chasing down the champs in the categories. Michael has a golden path laid in front of him. I really think if it had gone the other way, it would have been not as good. I think that this actually, for Michael, is his very best chance of beating Levon. Very best, for what I just described. The reason why. And if Michael can beat Vitali, there's a very good chance that he also beats Levon. Just the way, I mean, I think he if he can stop the match with Vitali, he can stop the match with Levon. Stopping the match is really key to the success of Michael. Obviously, very different arm wrestlers. Vitali is probably the guy that everybody thinks has just tremendous potential in the sport. Tremendous. He's got everything. You know, you see pictures of him when he was like 11, and he was arm wrestling, getting trophies, and and then this little twig turned into this 6'8" or 6'9", just absolute monster. So, um, so yeah, what a monster, what a freak, Vitali Larratt. But the thing is he hasn't pulled anybody like Michael. He hasn't. And there's a lot of talk about Vitali, how he's bigger and stronger than ever. And, you can't help but believe the hype. You can't help but believe the hype. You can't help but believe in Vitali. Anybody who's been in the same room as him, anybody who's touched his hand, super legit. But the fact is, he did not beat Hermes. He didn't. And even though he came back and destroyed Dave Chafee, he still lost to Dave Chafee at a point when really he shouldn't have. And I know that there was issues with the match, but it shouldn't have been close. So these are some of the reasons why people put doubt on Vitali. He's bigger than ever. He's quit his job as a trucker, supposedly, or been promoted or something where he has more time. Be careful about free time. Be careful you don't fill it with doing TV shows and running off to Thailand. If you have free time, if you want to get better at arm wrestling, just choose a simple life. But whatever. Michael on an absolute mission. Absolute mission. There is a path laid in front of him. I know how much it means to him. It means everything. I use everything, loosely, but the date is important. It's on Mother's Day. I believe it's May 10th. And for Michael, I know that has extra significance. I can't help but believe in the Michael Todd story. I can't help but believe it. I can't help but get behind it, want to support it, and have faith that it can happen. Outmatched physically. Outmatched. There's no part of the center that Michael Todd will get. There's no part of it. I can't see it. Michael Todd does have pressing capability. Absolutely. That is going to be an issue for Vitali. He does have a press. A good one. A great one. One of the best presses. And he has one of the finest King's move that the sport's ever seen. None of that initially should matter to Vitali. He will get central control, central position. There's a lot of talk of him being able to blast Michael right to the pad, but much more likely at some point it will become an IQ test. Vitali has been in wars before, long ones, great ones. He's been dragged out in stretchers. I remember him back in the categories in WAF, winning gold medals in 10-minute matches, looking just smugly across at his opponent, waiting, playing with him, making adjustments. So, has he ever faced a King's mover? I don't think so, to Michael's pedigree, but Vitali is certainly up for the challenge. So when you lay it all out, there's arguments for both to win. There's arguments for both to win dominantly. I'm terrible at picking, really bad. I kind of think that Vitali will be the on-paper champion by most. On-paper favorite, but me personally, I've said that Vitali's destiny is to lose to 3 North Americans this year. He will lose to Michael first, he will lose to myself in August, and he will lose to Jerry potentially in December. That's what I think. And that is a frightening reality for the brightest prospect from the East, from Russia. He's their biggest up-and-coming superstar. Obviously there's Levon, but Vitali. Everybody puts so much stake in Vitali, and I believe rightfully so. But I also believe he's going to lose to the three of us. We'll find out. We'll find out. That's probably all I'll say on that match. Other than, if Vitali loses, great. Michael goes on, and all support to him. Mike's gonna be his best, and that'll be super exciting. Michael Todd versus Levon. I think that'll be incredible, and I think it gives people something really solid to rally behind. Michael has never faced Levon. Michael has some tools that could be problematic for Levon. Everybody's the underdog versus Levon, but Michael has a chance, and I'm looking forward to that hopeful future. So if Michael wins, Vitali, I'll squash you in August, like we've discussed, like you've been saying that you're looking so forward to. I'm looking so forward to it. If Vitali wins, he still said, I watched his podcast there the other day, and he still indicated that he wants to arm wrestle me. He said September, August, whenever, it doesn't matter to me really. August is preferred, but if he wants to do it later, I don't care. I'm not in a rush. In fact, I'm so not in a rush that I also respect his choice. It would be smart of him if he wants to pull me after his shot at Levon. I don't care, because I'm not in a rush to do either. I'm just doing my thing. But I would love to pull him in August. And it seems as if he's down, so it will be a tough walk for him if he beats Michael. And then you'll see me in August. So that's the end of that match, really. Very excited about it. Super pumped. I'm sure that that's going to be just a very meaningful match for the world of arm wrestling. The next one I want to talk about, because it especially is the 115 kilo world title. It is the interim world title. It's like double interim. Double interim. I was the 115 kilo right hand world title holder. I kind of backed off it because I didn't really feel like there was a super exciting match for me in the class, and I pursued other challenges. I went down to 105 and cleaned that one, and I've been spending time in the supers just because I think it's just better for my development. I just think it's more challenging for me as an arm wrestler, and I have no questions in my mind that I can hit 115 kilo anytime I want. But I vacated it, and Reno Masick became the champion with a crazy win over Ibrahim Sagov. And they had just a wild match, and Ibrahim is like made out of marble, and young Reno Masick, just absolute prodigy of the sport. 20 years old, winning a world title at East versus West. He's definitely the youngest. He's definitely the youngest who's ever done that. That's wild, man. Interim title, whatever you want to call it. Okay, still 115 world title. Incredibly done, but he blew out his arm in the process, right? So he's been having to take a break, and that's why we have this interim championship. But I actually think that this level is potentially higher. I really do. I think Sagov's physical potential is as high as you can go. When you look at him genetically, he's just an absolute monster. Like, he reminds me a little bit of Colossus from the X-Men. How lean he is, how strong he is, how well he's put together. Genetically, Ibrahim Sagov is just frighteningly strong. His only downfall, I would say, is he's just not super versatile yet, it seems. It seems like he's very much an inside pulling specialist. Not to knock that's super cool, and good on him for specializing. I just think that it's a difficult style to always win with. And I think that there's guys that you're going to do good against them with, but maybe not everybody. Um, so Sagov, I heard, was walking around 125K now, 125 kg. Talk about Gennady for a bit. Gennady Kvitfinia for me is probably, he's right at the top of my favorites list for arm wrestlers, right at the very top. Why? Because he's absolutely a freaking nutcase. Okay, Gennady Kvitfinia is completely mentally powerful. Okay, like he does not back off. He does not become mentally weaker. You cannot make him stop. You cannot make him quit. He doesn't understand. It's not in him. I really respect that. I really respect that about him. I watch him closely. I've watched him closely his whole career. He's one of my favorite arm wrestlers. He's technically completely diverse, able to change super quick, unpredictable, endurance, and massive spirit, massive aura. You know, if you believe in that kind of thing, you know. So Gennady has been at this super high level for a very long time, very well established. You know, you can go back long to when he actually was fighting in these categories, you know, back in the WAF, and, you know, incredible performances, world champion, legit, right? So Gennady brings a ton of legitimacy to the class, brings a ton of legitimacy to the 115. You have to consider, how is Gennady? Okay, like, yes, he faced Michael, lost to Michael when before he beat Michael, lost to me when before he beat me. You can say Michael's better. You can say I'm better. You also need to consider that perhaps Gennady's bicep is still maybe not its very best. I would say that his pressing and his hooking is probably not that affected so much in an offensive way, defensive, potentially. And I would say that I have questions about his top rolling, which will be very important in this match against Sagov. So the thing that I also think about is the massive weight cut. The massive weight cut which lies ahead. Sagov, no problem. If he's 220, 125, it's a 10 kilo weight cut. That's no problem. Gennady will have to do more. Gennady will have to do a very large weight cut. One that will harden him, be good for him, be super healthy for him. I have no doubt at the end of it, if he does it properly, he is going to be a chiseled up, super ripped up, super nasty 115 kilo, absolute super beast, super warrior. But I'm really interested in following that process. I hope that he documents it. I'm super curious about the weigh-ins. Like, I hope that because this is an actual championship match, that they're very public about it, so that they let everybody see the legitimacy of it. I hope that they show the weigh-ins, so that there's none of these questions and everything that go on afterwards. 115 kilo, I believe the standard is 36 hours prior to competition start time in Istanbul. So they'll be weighing in on the Friday morning, and both of these guys will be completely fueled up, and, you know, probably coming into the match, probably, you know, an easy 265, both of them, easy. So they'll be maxing out the class, and they'll be exactly what you want to see a champion of 115 look like. So I guess my questions are, I would imagine that Sagov just continues to progress. I would imagine. I haven't, from what I've been following, I haven't seen any hiccups. I think that he's probably just continuing to advance. Maybe he's even starting to develop an outside game, um, which isn't going to hurt him. Genadi, we'll see how he is returning from, his setbacks and his losses. But, you have to believe that technically and from a resume standpoint, Genadi has to be the favorite. He has to be. Injuries, whatever, weight cut, whatever. You have to think Gennady Kvikvenia is coming in the favorite to win the 115 kilo interim title. That shakes it up. That makes things really interesting. Why? Well, when I look into my crystal ball, what do I see? I see Gennady winning. And then the next event in June, I see Hermes losing. And then what I see in the future, maybe in a couple months, Hermes smartens up and loses some of that past the weight. Pulls Gennady at 115 for the world title. Good match. Great match. Great match. Incredible match. And by then, hopefully Gennady's back in full form. And Hermes, he beat him the last time they pulled, so maybe Hermes will win. And then maybe something worth me cutting the 115 about. Anyways, Vitali's next. Anyway, you got it. And this live got screwed up, guys. I don't know what's going on. I guess I'll just post it public because I didn't see any comments. I didn't see anybody join me, so I must have had it on unlisted or something. So I live feeded with myself. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great day.